Today on Mormon Times.
It is something that you wake up to every morning. You wake up and you realize that, you know what, she's not here. But, you know, you can still be happy.
The loss of a child is devastating, but hope and healing are possible. We talk with one couple who has found both through their faith. And fostering an attitude of gratitude, ways you can help your family express thanks daily. Author Richard Paul Evans shares his insights. Good morning. Welcome to Mormon Times. When a couple is expecting a first child, there is a lot of anticipation and a lot of excitement surrounding that birth. But sometimes that excitement turns to heartache when things do not go as planned. Earlier this year, Danny and Molly Young delivered a stillborn baby. Through their faith, they have turned their devastating loss into hope for others who have had similar experiences.
From the moment that I felt like we were pregnant, we just knew that this little baby was our angel. We had a great pregnancy, we were healthy, we were fit, and just did everything right.
Married for 5 years, on June 30th, Danny and Molly Jane Young were about to welcome a baby girl into their lives. She was 41 weeks pregnant. They went to the hospital.
I didn't feel movement that morning, and so we went in and they hooked us up to an ultrasound machine, and right then and there he said there was no heartbeat. And that's the moment where our world turned upside down.
Kind of had to figure out how we were gonna kind of move forward and how we were gonna take this experience and not move on, but move through it. I think a lot of people think that you can get over something like this, and I don't think it's something you ever really get over, but it is something that you can get through.
But they turned to each other, and once Molly Jane gave birth, they named her Izzy Jane, spending a precious 24 hours with a little being they love and cherish, their child, now and always.
A hard thing, and I remember thinking, I don't want to see her because I won't want her so bad. But it was awesome to have our family and some of our close friends come and be able to hold her and smell her and kiss her and love on her for a little bit. And it was some precious moments that we hold on to.
We got to sleep with her.
We got to keep her for about a full day.
We lit off balloons at her funeral.
Friends surprised them by releasing these balloons together, taking everyone's eyes heavenward. And that's where they look constantly. One of nature's most beautiful creatures reminds them of Izzy Jane.
We kind of consider her a little butterfly. I think it was the day of, when was it, when we went home from the hospital? We went over to Molly's sister's house, and we're all just kind of hanging out, trying to be together and not be alone, and having that support was very helpful. And Izzy's buried in a little dress that has a bunch of little butterflies on it. And then that day there was a big butterfly, a big yellow butterfly that was flying around the backyard that I don't really notice those type of things. I think that's kind of Izzy saying, hey, you know what, I'm still here. I'm not far away. We have a lot of great family and a lot of great friends that support us every day. It is something that you wake up to every morning. You wake up and you realize that, you know what, she's not here. But, you know, you can still be happy. And one thing that we've found is talking about it is very helpful.
Danny and Molly Jane realize not every couple has the support they have. So they created the Flutter by Izzy Jane Foundation. They want to offer hope. They want to help pay for infant funeral costs and to provide mothers and babies with forever bracelets.
How cool would it be if we could create a foundation and keep Izzy's name alive, which is, we've come up with Flutter by.
I think that's what kind of has helped us be strong too, is to look forward to serving others and helping others and giving them hope, getting our mind just off of us and giving back.
Danny and Molly Jane Young have joined us in the studio. Welcome to you both. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
People have expressed to me, and I hope to you, how grateful they are for your willingness to talk about your loss. And I know you're people of faith, so share with us what you can about how this has increased your faith as a couple.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, I think we both realized there's times in our life where you really have to learn more about faith and to really hold on to that. And
you got to kind of dig a little bit deeper. It's something that you always had faith growing up, being a little kid. You always had that faith, and you always knew what you believed. And to actually have something where you have to rely on it now is totally different. So I think in our eyes, faith has definitely changed in the fact that it's something that it's not just there. It's something that you wake up with every morning and you have to deal with again, and you got to renew that faith and find that hope again, that there is a greater plan, and there's more to life than just day-to-day
And you reach closer to each other, that it's sometimes you against the world almost, that the two of you have found something together as a couple because of this.
yeah, it's definitely made us stronger together and made our faith stronger as well. I mean, every night I know that the only thing that helps me fall asleep is to pray to our Heavenly Father, and I just talk to Him. It's not a prayer like I used to pray. It's like one-on-one. Like I'm really getting to know Him better, and just pouring out my soul and just saying, help us get through this, and help us just be strong, and help us, continue to.
I mean, just to fill her and have her close. And I mean, we've definitely become a lot closer. Not that we weren't close before, but it is something that has brought us together in a different level.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, as a couple, there's lots of fun things that you love about each other and things you do together. And unfortunately, this is the experience that we have to learn how to be together with, and learn how to be strong and find happiness again.
Do you live any differently because you hope and pray to be reunited with Izzy Jane in the future? Have you done something differently with your lives?
I mean, it's something that it's something obviously we want. And I mean, you see, with Halloween, all the little babies that are dressed up, and I mean, some of those things that you really miss, and you're like, I want to be with her again. So with obviously the information and the knowledge that we have that we can be together forever is really helpful, and I mean, obviously makes us want to be the best that we can, so that one day we can really be with her again and experience the things that we essentially think now that we've missed out on, that we won't really have missed out on, and we'll have the opportunity to have these same experiences once again.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the foundation and what you hope to accomplish for other couples who have gone through what you have gone through.
Yeah, I mean, we both decided that doing the foundation would be good for us, not only for us, but for others. But mainly, we want Izzy to be proud of us. We want her to, smile down on us and be like, oh my gosh, they're doing something good because of me, of her, and so we want to help others.
Yeah, keeping that memory alive, and keeping that, when we're doing some of the different things in planning the event that's coming up in December, and creating the website, and doing some different things that we're doing with great response that we've gotten from the story last week, and the tremendous emails, and I mean, it's been amazing to see. I mean, we're not in this alone.
Yeah.
Lots of people have experienced this and are very willing to help and want to be a part of a greater cause and keeping their babies alive. Absolutely. And it's been fun doing the things. I think, for me, I really feel that Izzy's close, that she's kind of guiding some of my thoughts and my ideas, the things that come about, and creating some things and doing things differently. And, it's kind of fun.
Thank you both, and we wish you the best. Hope to see you again. Go to Facebook at Mormon Times TV. We'll have a link on how to find Molly and Danny's blog there. And up next, get your family on board for expressing gratitude daily. Ideas that will have everyone feeling more thankful this upcoming holiday season. Workers at Temple Square have been putting lights in place for one of the most spectacular light displays in the nation. Preparations for the Christmas light display began in August, and workers are in the process of putting final touches on the displays now. All the work for this display needs to be complete by the week before Thanksgiving. Mark your calendars for the November 25th lighting ceremony. The lights will remain lit through January 1st. Then the takedown begins. Takedown traditionally lasts through March. The lighting ceremony is only one of the festivities happening on Temple Square this holiday season. If you're looking for ways to celebrate the season, you may want to attend one of many events happening on Temple Square. One highlight of the season is always the Christmas concert with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir and Orchestra. This year's concert will feature baritone Nathan Gunn and actress Jane Seymour and will run December 15th, 16th, and 17th at 8 p.m. Tickets have already been distributed for this event, but if you are interested in attending, they have a standby line each night. Anyone who is not seated in the conference center will be able to watch the concert in the overflow seating areas near the conference center. Holiday events on Temple Square begin as early as November 18th. For a complete listing, go to LDS.org. In November, we traditionally turn our thoughts to gratitude, and everyone defines it differently. Here's what LDS Business College students had to say about it.
Gratitude is knowing that you can't do everything on your own and showing appreciation for the people who help you.
Gratitude is to recognize the good things that you have in life.
Gratitude is being grateful and showing love in everything you do. And
it's an expression of love. I feel a love for what God has given us. I feel like it's the deepest expression of love that we can show God.
Gratitude is thankfulness for things that we recognize that are blessings in our lives.
Up next, ideas to help your family foster an attitude of gratitude in your home. Author Richard Paul Evans will be along to give us his thoughts.
I'm grateful for my family.
Personally, I am grateful for the opportunity to be in this country.
I'm grateful for my parents.
I'm very grateful for freedom.
And I'm grateful for Heavenly Father's love for all of us.
Thanksgiving is traditionally the time we express gratitude for the blessings we've been given, and hopefully much more often than that. But why not extend that feeling of gratitude throughout the year in different ways? Our guest today is author Richard Paul Evans, and he loves to foster an attitude, starting with his family. And Richard, first of all, welcome. It's great to see you.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. What do you and your wife do to encourage this idea of gratitude in your family?
Probably more than encourage, we demand it. We don't tolerate ingratitude. I think for two reasons. First of all, it's just a very poor habit to not be grateful. And so it really bothers my wife if my kids don't say thank you. And so we've taught them from a young age. But second, I don't think you can be happy and not be grateful. And I don't know anyone who's grateful who's not happy. And if our job as parents are to teach our children to be happy, it's very important that we teach them to be grateful for what they have.
You're spreading this idea, particularly on your Facebook page. Tell me about that.
Yeah, one time I was sitting there and thinking, I'm not very happy. I haven't been happy lately. And I thought, why would I not be happy? I have so much. And I realized I had gotten out of the habit of gratitude, that it really is a habit that we can get into. And so I started Gratitude on my Facebook site. So at Richard Paul Evans fan page, every Tuesday we put up Gratitude, and thousands of people respond. They write down things they're grateful for, and just to give people a chance to just remember, okay, let's be grateful today.
And are there some charming things that you read?
There's wonderful things, and sometimes they're really moving. That's someone will say, well, I'm grateful my chemotherapy went well. I'm grateful that my husband's still alive this week, or some are very, very touching, actually.
It really does put life into perspective.
Absolutely.
In other words, yes. You're the founder of Christmas Box House, and this is for children who've been abandoned, abused, neglected. What have you taught these children about gratitude, and what have you seen from them, Richard?
Because I don't get to follow those children where they go, I've had them even come to book signings and say thank you, so I know that it exists. What I've really seen are my own children, as they see us work with these children, and when volunteers come down and work at the Christmas Box House, that they walk away thinking, I don't have it so bad. I have a lot to be grateful for, or I'm really grateful that my parents treat me well. And so there's a lot to be learned from these kids.
I'm sure, and you have that feeling. You carry that feeling with you then all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I have much to be grateful for.
Why is it so important that we focus on the idea of gratitude, do you think?
I think gratitude is, in the same way exercise is good for every part of your body, gratitude is good for every part of your soul. Benjamin Franklin thought it was one of the most important of all the virtues, and I agree. I don't know if there's, what is the scripture about that God, that nothing offends God more than the lack of gratitude, and I think that's true. I think when you see people who are feeling entitled, people who are nasty, you look at them, almost every case they're ungrateful.
Yes. You have a new book.
I do.
Congratulations, first of all. Tell us a little bit about it.
Last December, I took the story of the prodigal son and I rewrote it in modern times. So it's a modern day retelling from the prodigal son's perspective.
Is that very close to your heart, that parable?
I think I love stories of redemption, like the Christmas Carol or any stories. I thought, well, that's got to be the greatest story of redemption. But really, we don't know much about the prodigal son. And so it was an interesting ride to put myself in his perspective and watch how we get on that slippery slope.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, things start escalating and we find ourselves far away from where we wanted to be. But most important, the book is about grace.
Yes, and gratitude, we can say, too.
You know what? That's exactly the end. In fact, the beginning of the book, he says, what I learned most is to be grateful. So.
It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for spending some time with us and leaving a wonderful message.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Join us again soon. We'll be back, but before, we want to remind you of our missionaries. Every week we like to highlight them. And if you have a missionary serving and you have a photo to give us, please send it to mormontimes@ksl.com. We'll be right back. Brandon Flowers, lead singer for the popular rock band The Killers, is a Mormon. He knows it's not common for a rock star to have a wife and children, but he says through the efforts of his parents, he stayed grounded in the gospel and centered on his family. Here's his story.
Let's do it. My name is Brandon Flowers, and I make music and sing songs. I've always loved music, and it was a part of my life. Just like every other teenager, I cranked up the cassettes in the car, and I sang along, but I had never thought I'm going to be on the other side. There's a still in the street outside your window. We've been so lucky with the success we've had. So many people come to see us play, and it's become kind of a celebration. By the end of the show, they seem to be, everybody seems to be a foot off the ground. One of the cliches when you're growing up, you get it kind of pounded into your head about how you need to have a job that you love. And for the most part, it's a really difficult thing for people to find a career that they really love. And it's a dream come true for me to have my job be this. I didn't think it was possible. There are a lot of connotations that come along with popular music or rock music, and it's usually, very sex-driven or money-driven. And I realized early on that wasn't the road for me, and that maybe because of the foundations that were laid in my life by my, mom taking me to church, that I wanted to take a different road, I guess. Let's go down in the city, getting real low. Settling in my room, I'm unnoticed. It's definitely not normal in this business at my age to have a wife and children, but I guess for me it all ties back to my roots and the example set from my parents. I think they were married for 44 years, and there was always a happiness in my home, and that's what I want. On the floor. I think by the time I had a child, I had 17 or 18 nieces and nephews. So I was very accustomed to having kids around, and I knew the drill and what, I saw what happened. And it was like there's a chamber in your heart that you don't know exists that opens up when you have a baby. You know, it's just been such a great experience. I'm overflowing with that love that I didn't know was there before. Beg and please. It's hard booking tours. I get in arguments every now and then with our booking agent. You know, if he puts us out on the road too long, you know, come home and Ammon's gonna, hey Dad, you know, I don't want to miss out on things. A lot of it is based around starting a family and realizing that that's what is important to me. In a lot of ways, I guess it's kind of surpassed, you know, the music now for me. I find myself waiting to... I've definitely, as I've gotten older, been more cautious about lyrics, but I feel like I want to be a positive force in the world and I want to uplift people. A lot of people love to come up to me and tell me they were raised in the church. And they expect there to be this camaraderie about, oh, we've outgrown it now and we're smart enough now to not be in it. And it started happening so often that it really made me take a look at, you know, at myself. And I realized I was raised in it and I still, there's still a fire burning in there.
Brandon's band has sold over 15 million albums worldwide. He and his wife just added a new member to their family. They are now the proud parents of 3 children. And speaking of performers, BYU's a cappella group Vocal Point is gaining fans and friends across the nation. As one of the most requested performing groups at BYU, Vocal Point has now found success on NBC's The Sing-Off, which airs on Monday nights here on KSL. This year's Sing-Off competition premiered with 16 a cappella groups from across the United States. 6 groups now remain, and Vocal Point is a strong contender for possibly taking the winning spot. You can show your support for this group tomorrow at Jordan Commons Megaplex Theaters in Sandy, where you can meet members of Vocal Point at a watch party for the Sing-Off. Doors will open at 6:45. Thanks for joining us on Mormon Times, and enjoy the rest of your Sabbath day.